Well, guys, it's another Friday night, and we're here live at LA Bar. I'm Isiah Carey, and it's time for the Isiah Factor Uncensored. Now, it's been a hot weekend. We have some hot topics and some hot guests going. We have lots of people here in the restaurant ready to take part in the conversation and listen in on some of our great guests that we have planned for you. Now, before we begin, let's kick it off with the hot topics of the week. If you're from Colorado, you should hide your face and throw away your statehood card. Why? Because 9 men and 3 women there couldn't get on the same dang page about life or death for a mass shooter, a mass killer. Who does that? Instead of sentencing Colorado movie theater shooter James Holmes to a swift trip to Satan's concession stand, the jury gave this Joker look-alike time in prison, life in prison. It's like they couldn't make up their mind between a strawberry or a grape Slurpee. This is after this man killed 12 people. Now, if this were Pookie, he'd be valeting outside nightclub hell with the quickness. Mayor Anise Parker didn't have much to cheese about this week. See that look on her face? That's after the pastors are coming. The pastors are coming. The pastors threw a big monkey wrench in her hero plans. The ministers, through legal maneuvers, forced Mayor Parker to take her equal rights ordinance for the LGBT community to the people for a vote. It will be on the ballot in November. Now, the good reverends say Parker's trying to pull a fast one with ballot language now. Voting yes for the ordinance means no, and no means yes, and maybe means pick a side, fool, and that's the way the hero becomes an enemy. And finally, what in the world? The Republican debate on Fox News was actually exciting. And to prove that, 24 million people tuned in. For the Republicans? Anyway, Donald Trump was Donald Trump, hair and all. Ted Cruz was, well, kind of sort of like Joel Osteen every Sunday morning in church. Chris Christie was hotter than fish grease after Rand Paul rolled up on him the wrong way. Break yourself, fool. And then there was Dr. Ben Carson. Remember him? He's like Yeoman Johnson from Star Trek in that red shirt. That's marked for death. He never leaves the planet, but Captain Kirk does. But it was good TV, electric, exciting. But the Republicans? Okay. And we're beginning our conversation here on the Isiah Factor Uncensored from LA Bar with Paul Bettencourt, state senator. You will always be the tax man to me. I don't care what position you're elected to, you will be the tax man to me. And Judge Eric Andell, who is a political power player in the city of Houston.
Boy, it wasn't that kind. Thank you very much. Look, if that's the case, why did he get the Trump seat? Right here in the what happened?
Because we know he will make trouble.
We got the Trump position.
Now, the Republican debate on Fox last night, 24 million people, viewers turned in, and it was exciting. I was shocked. You typically expect the Democrats to shine.
Oh, come on. The Republicans, we knocked them, out of the park last night. 24 million viewers, can you imagine? They turned into a political debate. I mean, look, this is turbocharged the Republican presidential campaigns. We've got a real shot at winning 2016. And regardless of whether you're for Trump or against Trump, he really energized the field, and everybody got their game up, and we had a really good debate.
Well, you know what, Judge? I thought Trump came across as an entertainer. He was out of his league last night looking at it, and I know I will get the hate mail, but so what? Anyway, he was out of his league. He wasn't serious. He didn't have a clear vision for this country. Would you agree, disagree?
Well, he was not asked those kind of questions, first of all.
Right.
In fairness to him, they did kind of give him questions that were off the track of any kind of public policy. They were very personal questions. They knew, for example, that he could run as a third party. Could have asked him that directly. The question about being woman, the woman question and stuff kind of threw him off. He was not prepared to answer that. The day after the debate, he doesn't look so bad. He's doubling down, by the way, on what he's considered to be a bad, but he was not prepared for any policy
Well, Trump
issue.
declares himself the winner of the debate, but I'll tell you this, the winners were
Was he, in your opinion, the winner?
No.
Who was the winner in your opinion?
I think the real winners were Senator Rubio, Senator Cruz, Governor Huckabee, because they appealed to the mainline Republican base with some public policy, and as well as people like Ben Carson with humor, and Carly Fiorina really knocked it out of the park in the first debate, or the happy hour debate. So there were at least 5 clear winners, and while Trump has the celebrity status, the longer this goes on, the people that can pull together good public policy and with some humor are going to be the ones that will shine in the Republican debates.
Judge?
I know when that field winnows down that those candidates are going to have to answer some very tough questions that are very important to Democrats and, by the way, independents. The people who thrived last night tend to be those that thrive in a Republican primary.
Right.
I would take a bet right now that Hillary beats anyone that
I'm going to take the other side, because Senator Rubio said it best. He said, look, we've got 17 great candidates up here. The Democrats are having trouble even with nominating Hillary at this point. Look, and I'm going to bet you on this too, Eric. I'll say this, that at the October Democratic debate, it's a snoozer. You put up Hillary versus Bernie Sanders, and you'd be lucky to get 3 million people watching.
Now, what about the Ohio governor
last night?
and his comments
He did
last
very
night?
well with a very tough question, because
Yes.
he took the Medicaid. He took the Medicaid. I thought he explained that extremely well. He helped it helped him with the mental health issues, getting some folks out of the penitentiary. He actually did very, very well.
Look, we had people like John Kasich talking about going to a gay wedding, and we had people like...
Did you have a problem with that?
No, that's his position, okay? And we'll get
But as a Republican Party, would you guys have a problem with someone embracing the gay community?
Well, he's just said that he went to a gay wedding and he got a positive reaction from his
You're
hometown
skipping the
audience.
question, Paul,
No,
now.
I'm
saying as a party,
I'm gonna answer
would you
for it.
guys
That's right.
have a problem with that as being accepting in your platform?
Well, accepting is one thing. That's what he was trying to drive across. He said basically, hey, I don't discriminate. I love everybody, okay? Now, the good news is that he had 24 million viewers, and we're going to find out real fast on his polling numbers, too.
Did he win some independents and possibly some Democrats with those comments?
Well, there are two candidates. He did, and Jeb Bush took that immigration question straight on.
But you have to admit, Jeb Bush
Jeb-
wasn't presidential at all. In the beginning, he was looking very nervous, and he wasn't prepared for it.
Here's my take on that. I don't think he was interested in being there. I think he sees himself as the front runner and was trying to get home. Kind of like his dad looking at the watch type of thing.
Okay, he wasn't going to, blow the question on how much a gallon of milk was, but he wasn't comfortable. That was obvious, and he was not having a good day. Also, Governor Walker didn't hit the ball out of the park. But again, this is early, but just think of this. We're in August, and 24 million people turned in to see the Republican challengers against what is the de facto nominee of the Democratic Party.
Big picture, what does that say to you, that 24 million people?
Big picture means we've got the momentum on the Republican side, we've got the interest, and this is going to be a lot closer race than Eric would like to admit.
It means that, yes, it's going to be closer, because it's going to come down to Florida and Ohio. It's always close. It's Florida and Ohio. I think that a moderate position, that's what's going to happen. The Republicans ultimately are going to put in a quasi-moderate candidate. Cruz isn't going to make it.
Well, but let me go to this. The Republican Party showed its diversity. We had, Governor Kasich talking about going to a wedding. We had Ben Carson talking about, being a neurosurgeon. Instead of answering the race card question like everybody always does, being worried that they're offending somebody, he said, look, I'm a neurosurgeon first, because I look at people not from the skin side, but from the brain side. And then when he talked about Washington not having half a brain, it brought the House down. He stuck that landing with a 10. So we've got the diversity, we've got the momentum, and I think we're going to carry this all the way in 2020.
Do they have the diversity? We've got 15 seconds.
He knows this. A couple of those folks don't apply to what you call the hardcore voting base of the Republican Party in primaries. You're going to find out in Iowa exactly what I'm talking about.
Judge Eric Andell, Paul Bettencourt, thank you guys for a wonderful conversation. We'll be back with more Isiah Factor Uncensored. After this, we're going to talk about guns and whether I should bring my lightsaber to movie theaters.
All right.